We're going to go over the procedure to test either base oil or finished products for metal content, as in calcium, molybdenum, magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, those type of metals that we have particularly are looking for additives and so forth. This instrument is an X-ray fluorescence instrument, and the particular calibration curves that are stored are specifically for the types of additives that we use in the range of treat rate that we have for our PCMOs and heavy duty ATF products and so forth. The control panel is also touchscreen. You can access the instrument by pressing the blue button. It will open up the door. Inside we have 10 compartments. We usually use compartment 1 and run a single sample at a time. As you are preparing to do the analysis, you should always check that the seal is not broken in the safety cell that will hold if there's any kind of a leak. This is your containment and safety barrier. So that looks good. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and set up. We have several different programs, but the one that we use for our most common products will be Type Standard. We will put the product name or base oil name, and we usually go by blend number. So today we're going to be checking a 5W30 we just made. It is in tank 601. So this is after a transfer. So we'll put 5W30 tank 601 and tell it to accept. Prep a sample for the X-ray instrument. You'll need to get a sample cup and a lid, which I keep in the drawer just below the instrument. And you'll need to note the proper orientation is the more tapered end will go up, and there's a little notch down at the bottom that fits into the metal sample compartment. So we'll cover it with some film, and the best way is to use your left hand to reach down where the film is sticking, and not to touch it with your fingers. Grab a clean metal cup and simply press down firmly and evenly, and then you should have a prepared film covered sampled cup. If you do not use the tapered end, it simply will not fit in properly. So if you have a lot of resistance, make sure that you've got the tapered end that you're sliding it down on. You simply then fill to the scored little line on the inside, which indicates about half. You can see it's about half full. And then again, not touching the bottom film. You don't want to puncture it or get oil or debris from your fingers. You simply firmly grasp it in your left hand while using your right, and then just gently press with even pressure to get the lid on. It doesn't have to be snapped down. It'll stay in place, and then it's ready for analysis. We simply press on the blue button to release the latch, put the sample inside the chamber holder, and then secure the lid. You'll begin to hear the auto sampler moving inside and rotating, and unless this lid is properly shut, the instrument will not run. So we're now going to indicate and hit the start button. You can either do it with your finger or the mouse. And now the instrument will turn on the X-ray, and it will begin running the program standard type method. This is a PCMO, which is why I'm running that particular method. If you're analyzing one of the transmission fluids, either MPATF or MVATF, because of the low level of metals in those particular products, we do not run the same method. We run a method called test, which is designed to look at those lower levels on those particular metals. So keep that in mind depending on which sample you're running. It takes about 7 minutes. If you want to look at the progress, you can simply hit results, and it will go ahead and bring up a results screen. And as it starts to get the numbers and calculating, it will start to present on the screen. At the end, I'll show you how to print out and collect your data and store the results. The analysis now has completed. You'll see what comes up on the screen are the outputs for calcium, molybdenum, magnesium, phos, zinc, and sulfur. However, not all base oils or products will have all of these particular metals. So you may actually see a weird reading or maybe a negative report on a metal, and that's okay. It depends on which product you're running. But this 5W30 is our new SN Plus formulation, and the calcium level is appropriate at 1377 ppm and so forth. So this is what I would expect for this particular product. So in order to create a sample report, we'll preview report, choose metals analysis, click OK. And then select print. That way we have a hard copy of the run. And then when you close, it'll ask to accept. This is the only way that it is stored in the database. So you click accept all. And what is nice is you can always go back and look at your calculations or data. So we can go over here, take the back button to advance, stored results, click on today's date, which today is the 4th. You can do any time range and ask it to do a search. And here you'll see the sample that we just tested. And it's got all of the data listed in terms of how we want our output in ppm and actual intensities. You can check intensities as well. And we can simply say we want to print a sample report, and then it brings up the data again. So we can close, go back out of here, close that screen, and then back button will take us back to our original screen. To end the analysis, we typically run in duplicate and collect the data twice, but at the end of your analysis, you simply remove the sample cup and kind of get your fingernail up under the lid. Just remove the lid. It is disposable. And we simply will dispose of that. And the easiest way is to do a quick flip, and you should be able to poke through with your finger. Now, if you leave the sample in the sample cup for a long time, it will start to dissolve, because like dissolves like, it will start to penetrate the film barrier, and then it'll be kind of hard to get it out, but you can push through with a paper towel. And then we simply inspect. We don't use any solvent cleaners, simply wipe if there's any residue on the sample cup. The O-ring, you want to keep it nice and greased so that it fits in there snugly, so we don't do a solvent rinse on that. And then simply put it back so it's ready for the next analysis.